employers want to hire you. They want to be able to get back to business. They want to continue making money. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about a topic that I know a lot of you are interested in, so I wanted to address it. Whether you are a college or university student who just finished their semester, or you're a high school student who's coming up on the end of their year, a lot of us are looking for summer jobs right now, and it can be a really weird and volatile job market out there. So I wanted to share with you 3 different ways that you can look for jobs, and then what you need to do once you've found a job that you like to secure that position. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. And without further ado, let's find you a job. Alright, so the first point that I want to talk about is probably the most important website that you're ever going to create an account on when it comes to your career, and that is LinkedIn. Now, I know a lot of us think about LinkedIn and they're, it's just adults trying to find careers, but LinkedIn is a site where employers are posting a lot of different job opportunities. One of the most important things that you need to do once you've made your LinkedIn account, which you really do need to make, is make sure that your title is eye-catching for employers. Not only is LinkedIn a site where you can look for jobs, but it's also a site where employers can search through different people who match the kind of job that they're looking for and then message them. That means that you could just have a LinkedIn account and have people messaging you with job opportunities instead of you having to actually go out and find them. Your headline needs to be something that people are looking for. And when young people make LinkedIn accounts, they have little to no job experience, and so their headline tends to be something mundane and boring that no employer is either going to search for or ever click on. So it's really important to not only differentiate yourself from other people by making yourself a really interesting headline, but it's also important that you optimize that headline so that employers are not only going to be looking for someone with those keywords in their headline, but also that if they are, you're going to be ranking at the top of that list.
Inside of LinkedIn, you're going to enter the job search function, adjust for location, jobs type, experience level, etc., and then search for your desired job. In this example, I put in tutor and I adjusted for entry-level qualifications. To find your keywords, just copy and paste 4 or 5 job descriptions into a word cloud website and then use the most common words. Those are what you're going to be putting into your headline because those are what the majority of employers are looking for.
Another really important way to differentiate yourself on LinkedIn is through your skills. Every time an employer is looking up a job, they're going to add skills into that in terms of what they're looking for in those different positions. To figure out what skills you should put in your LinkedIn account, you should utilize the same word web that we just used to figure out our headers. Now, it's not just about adding the skills though. You also want to get a friend or family member who also has LinkedIn to endorse that skill on your account. By having an endorsed skill, even just one person endorsing that skill immediately, because there is verification from an outside source that you have that skill in your repertoire, your profile is going to shoot to the top. Now, the second place that you can look for a job, if you're a Canadian citizen like I am, hence the Canadian content, is through the government of Canada. Because of COVID-19, the government has added $263 million towards their summer jobs program, which roughly equates to about 70,000 more jobs for Canadian students this summer. Those jobs are also subject to the wage subsidy. So let's say you'd be making minimum wage, which is $14 an hour across Canada. That's going to add about $2.50 on top of it. So you could be making roughly $16.50 an hour. The summer job program has now been expanded to include part-time workers. Previously, if an employer wanted to be on the wage subsidy for the Canada Summer Jobs Program, they had to hire somebody full-time. But now, because Canada is just trying to open up as many jobs as possible, employers are allowed to have part-time positions available. The program has also been extended all the way until February 2021, which means that if you have a job this summer through the program, it's not automatically going to end in September, depending on your employer's availability and yours as well. So that could mean that you could have a job all the way up until next year just by getting one through the program right now. And even though the program ends in February of 2021, depending on you and your employer's situation, you might be able to have a long-standing job with them and work with them even outside of the program post its end. That could be a really awesome networking opportunity because there are a lot of positions through the Canada Summer Job Program that most people wouldn't think to look for, and a lot of companies that most people wouldn't think to even apply to. Despite there being increased availability, there's also increased demand because a lot of students have lost their jobs. So I highly recommend that if you do want to look into the Canada Summer Jobs Program, you look into it as soon as possible. The government also has a lot of other opportunities through the Federal Student Work Experience Program, which is available year-round, and through co-op and internship opportunities. I definitely recommend checking the Government of Canada's website out, because even if you don't think that you have any kind of interest in politics, there's a lot more that goes on in running a country than just the political aspect of it, and you might be able to find a job that not only will pay you, but will interest you as well. Alright, so the final place that you should be looking for a job is through the Youth Employment Services, also known as Y.E.S. Y.E.S is a company that has been helping students find jobs in Ontario for over the past 50 years, and they have a multitude of programs to help you find employment both this summer and year-round. Y.E.S has 20 different programs that are aimed at helping you find jobs and at helping young entrepreneurs. This might be the perfect time for you to start your own business. And if you want to, Y.E.S is the perfect place to go find resources to help you become a successful entrepreneur. Many of their job finding programs offer 60 to 90 hours of paid training. That's a week and a half to 2 weeks of full-time work that is fully paid, and all you're doing is learning how to be a successful employee and how to get jobs. That means that after you finish one of Y.E.S's programs, you're going to have all of this experience and all of this knowledge so that you can go and find jobs by yourself and be able to have these really high-paying opportunities in front of you because you have this incredible learning under your belt. It is such an incredible note on your resume to say that you've worked with this company and that you've had hours and hours and hours of training experience, because that's something that's going to differentiate you from 99% of other applicants on future jobs. Even if you don't want to go through one of Y.E.S's programs, I highly recommend that you check them out because they have a lot of other resources too. One of them is a job posting board that you can check back however often you'd like, and they have a bunch of different opportunities from part-time to full-time, in-person to online. They also have interview prep and resume critiques, and even an entire course on just financial literacy. I know that when you're young, the biggest thing that's on your mind is being able to actually make money, and it's really important if you ever want to have money to start making money. But if you're making money and then immediately spending it, or you don't know how to properly budget, or you don't know how to properly invest for your future, it doesn't matter how much money you're making now because you're not going to have any of it down the road. Being financially literate is incredibly important, and taking this course can really help get you started on a journey of financial health. Alright, so I've given you 2 different places that you can look to find a job, but I also need to give you these 2 pieces of advice if you want to actually be successful in your job search. Number 1 is to be flexible. Especially right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, specifically in the job market, because so many people have lost their jobs and they don't know when businesses are going to be able to come back. You need to understand that uncertainty, and you need to be able to convey to an employer that you're on their side and that you know that it's not an easy thing for them. Employers want to hire you. They want to be able to get back to business. They want to continue making money. But right now, it's really uncertain about whether or not they can. And by conveying that you understand that and that you're willing to give them time and willing to be flexible, they're a lot more likely to consider you in the future, because not only is that a really great quality for right now to ease their minds, but it's also a really great quality in the future for a long-standing employee, because adaptability is incredibly important in the workplace. I also recommend that you look into freelance and contract opportunities as well. The skills that you'd be applying in a traditional job are often the same that you'd be applying in a freelance or contract position, and those are both much more flexible and a lot more attractive for employers right now. Right now, a lot of employers don't know if there's a future for their business at all. So telling them that you're willing to work on a shorter term and that they don't need to make a commitment to you for a really long time is going to make them a lot more likely to actually hire you. I know that that can be a little unnerving, especially if you wanted a job until, later than July or August. But this also opens you up to the opportunity to be looking for other jobs while you're working at this one, and the freedom to leave if you need to because you find a longer standing position, since it was just a short contract. I have a video dedicated in its entirety to how to make money online. I'll link it up here and in the description. But one of the opportunities that I talked about in that video is a company called Fiverr, and Fiverr is a really great opportunity for freelancers and for contract workers. Even if you're unable to get a job this summer, using a platform like Fiverr can not only provide you with the flexibility of freelance work, but it can also help you develop your skills and gain experience that you can end up putting on your resume so that when you're applying to more jobs in the future, you have that under your belt and are more likely to get hired, plus you're making money in the process. The second piece of advice that you really need to follow is to follow up. While you definitely do need to be flexible and you need employers to understand that you're on their side, you also need them to remember who you are. Because there are still a lot of businesses that are working to try and get back on their feet, there are still interviews that are being conducted. Businesses are still looking to hire people, but that doesn't mean that they're going to hire you in the next week after you've gotten an interview. So you need to follow up. Even after you've had an interview with an employer and you've gotten your foot in the door, depending on what it looks like on their side of the screen, it might not be viable to take you on right now, and they might have to wait another month until they can. So while continuing your job search in other places, every 4 to 5 days you should follow up in a short and concise email asking if the opportunity is still available. Now, you're not always going to get a response from them, and that's okay, because a lot of time the person on the other end of that email doesn't know if they can hire you or not, because they're waiting for somebody else to respond to their email, who's waiting for somebody else to respond to their email. And the hierarchy just keeps going up because nobody really understands what's going on right now or how to take the next step into the future. And so making sure that you're at the forefront of their mind at all times means that once they have the go-ahead to actually hire somebody, they're going to remember who you are and you're going to be the first person that they look to. Persistence and patience will pay off. I know that it's a really hard time right now and it might seem like there are no opportunities out there and that you have no more options, but there are opportunities and there are jobs that you can go find and there are places that you can be making money. You just need to keep trying. And that's everything for today. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.